It is absolutely crazy to me that this is the state of my bookshelves after removing all my unread books. Hello, all of you beautiful bookish people. I am a little tired already, and we haven't even started officially filming this video. And that is because, if you can see behind me, my shelves look super empty. I took all 200 plus unread books off of my shelf to share with you guys today the 200 plus unread books on my shelf. I knew this video was going to take a lot out of me to film, and I have been putting it off for way too long, but it is about time. But I do have my emotional support coffee to get me through it. Hits every time. Before I get started with showing you guys all my books, I just want to give you guys some stats. So I have this app on my phone. It's called Bookshelf that I scan all my books into. It keeps track of all the books I have and if I've read them or not, just because I like to see what I haven't read yet on my phone, just because I mix all my books together on the shelf, so it makes it easier for me. I know that there's some books I don't have scanned because I have to like manually put them in, and I just haven't done that yet. But according to this app, I have 560 books on my shelf. And out of that 560 books, 195 of them are unread. And again, that's just an estimate, because like I said, there are some books I haven't scanned. I think it's like 200 plus, and I think that plus is literally just 201 books that are unread on my shelf. But like I said, I have 560-ish books on my shelf, so I feel like that's a great ratio to read and unread. But that's enough yapping. We need to get going, because if I don't now, this video is going to take forever. And also, I'm just going to be showing you guys the books. I'm not going to say much about them. I'm not going to give synopsis. This is just a rapid fire, the books that I have on my physical TBR. And I don't have them in like strict genre categories. They are general categories, so take that as you will. I'm going to start with the genres I have the least unread books in, and I'm going to go up from there, give or take some books, you know. And like I said, I'm done yapping. I need to tell myself that for sure and get started on these books. I guess before we actually get started, I should mention what I'm currently reading and what I'm going to pick up after that. And I'm currently reading Comanche Moon by Larry McMurtry. I'm buddy reading this with my husband. We're on page 237. She's a chunker, so it's going to be a bit till I get through this. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. And then, guys, I'm going to be filming a reading vlog for this book. It should be coming out the Friday after this one comes out, because if you didn't know, I post every Friday. And that is Gone with the Wind. So, if you guys want to see me read this book, check out my video next week, because I will be vlogging reading this big old girl. But yeah, those are the two books that I'm currently reading / on my radar that are still technically part of my physical TBR, but soon will be knocked off. The first genre I have the least amount of unread books in is thriller / mysteries, because I don't read a lot of them. If I'm going to read a mystery, I'm going to read a cozy mystery, and that's its own category in this video. So these are strictly like thrillers, mystery type books where, you know, there's a lot more at stake. And the first one I have to share with you guys is The It Girl by Ruth Ware. I've never read it. Oh my gosh, I was literally going to give you a synopsis on this book. I'm not doing that today in this video. But yeah, first book is The It Girl by Ruth Ware. Look Closer by David Ellis. The Fury by Alex Michaelides. And this one, I believe, is horror, and I don't really have like any horror books or read horror books, but I picked up this one solely because of the cover and maybe wanting to get into horror, but not anything gory or super scary or demonic. But I do have the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I have Falling by T.J. Newman. And the last book I have in the thriller category is an S.A. Cosby novel. I haven't read anything by him. If you guys have, let me know if I should give it a try, if this is a good one to start with. And that is All Sinners Bleed. So yeah, that was the 6 books I have in mystery slash thriller, and I guess maybe one horror in there as well. And the next category is going to give you probably a little bit of whiplash, and that is nonfiction. I have also Christian nonfiction in there as well. First, I have In His Image and None Like Him, both by Jen Wilkins. I love Jen Wilkins. I have done a couple of her Bible studies, and I just love them so much spiritual truth, and they're in her Bible studies. They really get you thinking, so I love them so much. And these 2 are recommended to me by one of my dear friends, and I'm really excited to get to them. Then I have It's Not Supposed to Be This Way. This one is actually Christian apologetics, which also is a category in nonfiction, but to be specific, this is Christian apologetics, and that is Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. This is the only C.S. Lewis book I have, and I've never read anything by him, so let me know if this is a good place I should start. Then I have What My Bones Know. This is a memoir of healing from complex trauma. I also have Heartberries, The Glass Castle. Then I have Green Lights, one that everyone has read but me, Educated. Next category I'm talking about is cozy mystery, which has become one of my new favorite genres this year. The first 2 books I'm going to talk about are part of a series. It's a 4-book series, I believe, and I only have the first 2, and that is Chapter and Curse and A Trench's Tale. These are so cute and so cozy. I probably am hoping to pick at least the first book up this autumn. And then I have some Agatha Christie books, part of the Prayer series, because if you didn't know, I'm trying to make my way through the Prayer series, and I'm on book 5, but I have been buying some as I see them, so let's go through those. I have The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. This is the one I have to pick up next. The ABC Murders, Death on the Nile, 5 Little Pigs, After the Funeral, The Clocks. I have Magpie Murders. Then I have The Saturday Night Ghost Club. Then I have Smile Beach Murder. And another one I feel so late to the game is The Thursday Murder Club. And this is part of a series I am in the middle of. I read the first 4 books, and I have 4 more to read, and I will complete the series. And these are all by the same author. If you heard me talk about it on my channel before, it's the Beatrice Potter cozy mystery books. And I have The Tale of Briar Bank, The Tale of Cottage Castle, The Tale of Oak Cake Crag, The Tale of Applebeck Orchard. And then by the same author, I have her other series. This is the Darling Dahlia series, I believe. And I don't have all the books, as I have been thrifting all of her books, buying them secondhand, just because it's super hard for me to find them at bookstores. So I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of, I believe, maybe 10 book series. And they are The Darling Dahlias and the Cucumber Tree, The Darling Dahlias and the Naked Ladies, The Darling Dahlias and the Confederate Rose, The Darling Dahlias and the Texas Star, The Darling Dahlias and the Silver Dollar Bush, The Darling Dahlias and the 11 O'Clock Lady, and then The Darling Dahlias and the Poinsettia Puzzle. The next category of books I'm going to talk about is classics. These are all the classics on my physical TBR. Some of them are with my literary fiction or just fiction books, just because they don't really have any other cohesive covers. So I just put them there because it makes sense to my brain. They're all just fiction anyways. So take that as you will. That's just how I do my thing. So here we go into classics. I have Northanger Abbey, Persuasion by Jane Austen, Middlemarch by George Eliot, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas, and Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy, The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy, and then Tess of the, I honestly can't even say that, Duvaliers butchering that, by Thomas Hardy. Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Dracula by Bram Stoker. Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. The Secret Garden. The House of the Seven Gables. And The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Next category is romance. And I was kind of shocked about the number of unread romance books I had on my shelf. I thought I had more than I have. First, I have the last 5 books in the Bridgerton series. I don't have the first 3 because they were already out when I saw that they were redoing them, and I just pre-ordered the ones that hadn't came out, and I have those, but I never went and ordered the first 3, so I need to do that. But let me know if you guys have read this, because I know the TV show is really spicy, and I've heard the books aren't as spicy as the TV show. So please let me know if I should pick these up or not. Another romance book series I have is the Magnolia Parks. I have read the first book, Magnolia Parks, about 2 years ago. And then when I read it, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I was really eager to pick up the next ones. But I lived in Guam, and it was so hard to get books in Guam, and our local bookstore never had any of the books I was looking for, so I just never ended up picking up the next book. Then moved back to the States, purchased them, and haven't touched them. So let me know if you guys have read these as well, and if they are worth my time, because like I said, it's been 2 years since I read the first book. That I think is all the romance series I have, so the rest are just standalones, I believe, or I don't have the other book in the series, just the first book. But I have Before We Were Strangers, Friends to Lovers, cute little sprayed edge. And this next one I'm super excited about because it's going to be my first book by this author that I hear amazing things about. And that is Sense and Suitability by Pepper Basham. I have Ashley Poston's new book, The Someday Garden, Passion Project, What Happens in Amsterdam, Love in Other Words, The Unhoneymooners, The Holiday Swap. And then I think it might actually be criminal that I've never read anything by this author. And that is Lynn Painter. And I have The Love Wager and The Beloved Better Than the Movies. Next category has a mix of genres, but I'm just putting it all under the umbrella of fiction. So we're talking literary fiction, contemporary fiction, historical fiction, or even like some classics in there as well. It's just a hodgepodge of fiction. And first I have my newest one to this collection, and that is Land by Maggie O'Farrell. I read Hammett, so I had to pick this up, and I'm so excited to get to this one. Then I have The Rachel Incident, Little Fires Everywhere, Home of the American Circus, The Names, Real Americans, Wildness, The Art of Scandal, Lizzie and Dante, Wait for Me, Beach Music, The Correspondence, James. And this isn't my only Kristen Hanna book that I have unread. There's more in there, but this is Night Roads. I haven't read a Kristen Hanna book in a hot minute, and I am itching for one of her novels. But yeah, I have Night Roads, Cleopatra and Frankenstein, Station 11, The Devil in the White City, Demon Copperhead, If We Were Villains, The Storyteller, Animal Farm, Outlawed, The Lark, The Lost Bookshop, 15 Summers Later, Beneath a Scarlet Sky, The Artist in the Feast, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, The House Next Door. Again, this isn't my only Anne River Sutton's book, but I have 2 more of her books somewhere in this stack of books. But let me know if you read any of her books. So I have 3 of them, and I've never read anything by her. The Wish, Slow Dance, The August Girls, and Nora, The Cliffs, This Is a Love Story, The Last Garden in England, The Stationery Shop, The Outsiders, The Secret Book of Flora Lee, The Conditions of Will, A Girl Called Samson, and Where the Lost Wonder. And then here are my Kristen Hanna books. We have Firefly Lane, Homefront on Majestic Lake in Summer Island. Homegoing, Pictures of You, A Room with a View, A Perfect Vintage, All the Light We Cannot See, Jayber Crow and Hannah Coulter, Britt Marie Was Here, Other Birds, Watership Down. Now time for my final category, and that is fantasy. I have a lot of unread fantasy books. It is my favorite genre. At least I think it is. I have been in a fantasy rut lately. I have not read that many fantasy books. Nothing sounds good, which makes me so sad. So after going through my fantasy books, please let me know which ones I should prioritize and pick up as soon as possible to get out of this fantasy slump I'm in. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into these books. And first I have The Daughter of the Pirate King. I love this edition. This is the only book I have in the series. Like I said, I'm trying to be better about not purchasing the whole series. So I just have book 1 for now. Need to read it, then I can purchase the other books. Then I have Fable and Namesake, A Study in Drowning, and A Theory in Dreaming, Threads That Bind, The Ministry of Time, The Will of the Many. I'm not sure if this next one is fantasy because this author has wrote literary fiction and fantasy. It's just in my fantasy pile. And that is One for My Enemy. Then I have These Hollow Vows and These Twisted Bonds, The Hobbit, Under the Whispering Door, Lady Tremaine, The Everlasting, A Steeping of Blood. And these next 2 are part of a series that I think I'm going to DNF. It's been a year since I read the first 2 books, and honestly, I did not get the hype whatsoever. I did not like them. They felt totally flat for me. And I have been holding on to the other 2 books. I mean, I have the whole series still. I've been holding on to it, and I think I might unhaul it because I don't see myself picking up the next 2 books, and I need to get comfortable with DNFing series. It's okay to do so. I need to give myself permission, basically. And I have A Sky Beyond the Storm and A Reaper of the Gates. I don't know which one's next in the series because I truly don't care. Yeah, it might be disappointing for some of you, but don't know if I will continue this series. Lore of the Wilds. I also have the Mistborn trilogy, the first books in the, I guess, Mistborn world. Also by Brandon Sanderson, I have Umi and the Nightmare Painter. And then I have his little novellas all in this one book. My husband has actually read a good chunk of the Mistborn series, and he has read some of the novellas in this as well. You know, and so I'm so happy that I have this on hand when I actually go to start reading the whole Cosmere. The only book I have read is Trust of the Emerald Sea, and I adored that book. It's still truly one of my favorite fantasy novels. But yeah, I need to pick up Mistborn already. I know my husband is dying for me to read it. To continue, I have Bloodguard, Where the Dark Stands Still, The Courting of Bristle Keats, The Once and Future Queen, Defy the Night, Sisselmarsh, Swordcatcher, The Swan's Daughter. I have this adorable special Fairy Loot edition. And then this is book 2 in a series. I think book 1 and 2 are the only ones out. Book 3 comes out later this summer. And I found book 2 at a secondhand bookstore local to me, and I just went ahead and picked it up because it was 50% off. So I do need to get book 1 and read book 1. But that is A Drop of Corruption, and I believe the first book is The Tinted Cup or something like that. The Familiar, A Dance of Lies. Whew. Okay, that's like 2 books stacks of fantasy. I have 2 more to get through. Alright, some more fantasy. I have The Temptation of Magic, The Nature Witches, Redwall, Nettle and Bone, and A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. I think this actually might be Southern Gothic, actually, now that I think about it. But, you know, she is with her friend. The Secret Service of Tea and Treason, Magic Lessons, The Princess Bride, A Diary of Blood, Fallen Stars, Legend Born and Bloodmarked, The Adventures of Amia El Safari, Six of Crows in Crooked Kingdom, Half a Soul, Garden Spells, The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein, Can't Spell Treason Without T, Dire Bound. This is one of my besties' favorite books. And then a YA fantasy trilogy, the Scythe trilogy, The 13th Tale, The Magician's Daughter, Circe, The Beautiful Ones, Spindle's End, Out of the Silent Planet, Malice. Now the last final books, they are part of a trilogy, a historical fantasy trilogy, one of my favorite genres. And when I got these, I was so excited to pick them up, and then I hit my fantasy slump. So let me know if you read these and if I should pick these up and if they will cure my fantasy slump. And that is The Children of the Gods and Fighting Men, The Words of Kings and Prophets, The Land of the Living and the Dead. I love these covers so much. So there was all 201 books on my physical TBR. And if you guys stuck around for this whole video, you're probably just as nosy as I am, and I just want to know what other people have on the bookshelves. So I thank you very much for being nosy and sticking around. But really, all seriousness, thank you. And if you did stick around for this whole video, don't forget to like and comment on this video and subscribe so you can stick around and see me read these books. And let me know down in the comments which of these books you want to see me read and film a reading vlog. And also let me know which one of these books I should prioritize or maybe unhaul, because I'm realizing after making this video, I have a lot of books that I probably could part ways with. So I might be due for a unhaul. I also want to put a disclaimer out there. I do use my library. I read books all the time from my library. I just then buy the shelf trophy. But also I love buying books. So my physical TBR, if I see a book I want and I will purchase it. So but I just wanted to put a disclaimer out there that I do use my local library. But thank you again for sticking around, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Now I gotta put all these books away.